Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn about TCP with explicit link failure notification. So let's get started. Holland and Vaidya are the two persons who have proposed this TCP with explicit link failure notification, which is used to improve the TCP performance in ad hoc wireless networks. You see, as the traditional TCP cannot perform that much well in ad hoc wireless networks, there are many other modifications which are done to this traditional TCP. Among them, we are going to discuss TCP ELFN today. This is similar to TCP-F, feedback-based TCP, except for the handling of explicit link failure notification. Explicit link failure notification occurs when there is a link failure, and the use of TCP probe packets for detecting the root re-establishment. These are the two places where TCP-F differs from TCP ELFN. As you can see here, the ELFN is originated by the node detecting a path break upon detection of a link failure to the TCP sender. This can be implemented in two ways. Let us consider an example now. Let us consider node A, node B, node C, node D. Here link exists like this. There's a link like this. If the link between C and D breaks, then ELFN packet will be originated by node C. How? We'll see again. The ELFN is originated by the node detecting a path break upon detection of a link failure to the TCP sender. This can be implemented in two ways: by sending an ICMP destination unreachable message to the sender, by piggybacking the information on the root error message that is sent to the sender. We'll consider this example again. As you can see here, let us consider this is the sender and this is the destination D. You see, when this sender is sending the packets to D via this A to B, B to C, C to D. When this link failure occurs, then there will be a path break, right? Then path break also occurs, right? So here this node C will send a message which will indicate or which will intimate sender about this path break. It may be a DUR message, means destination unreachable message. This indicates that the path break has been occurred. This is one way. Or it will piggyback. It will add this information that path break has occurred to the root error message. Root error message will have this path break message. Means it will piggyback, means adding some of the information to the root error message. These are the two ways which explicit link failure notification can be originated and intimate the sender. In the standby state, it periodically originates probe packets to see if a new route is re-established. When it reaches the standby state, when there is a packet loss and due to the path break, then the TCP sender will be in the standby state, right? So then it periodically originates the probe packets to see if a new route is re-established to the destination. Upon reception of an acknowledgement by the TCP receiver for the probe packets, it leaves the standby state, restores the retransmission timers, and continues to function as normal. When, for example, let us consider again. This is the sender, this is the destination. If it has sent some data packets, this is the data packets. It sets some timer. This is the timer. It sets some timer. within that period of time, the data packet must reach the destination, and the destination must acknowledge the data packet it has received. This will be maintained. The time of this round trip travel time will be there in this timer with some delay also, in order to avoid some problems. With some delay also it will be there. If the probe packets has been received by the destination and it leaves the acknowledgement, then the standby state of the sender will not be continued, and it continues to function as normal. It will start transmitting the data packets, normal data packets, as the route has been re-established. TCP-ELFN improves the TCP performance by decoupling the path break information from the congestion information by the use of ELFN. You see, decoupling the path break information from congestion information means if a packet loss occurs, TCP sender will immediately start this congestion control algorithm, which is very, very bad in case of throughput. It will decrease the throughput. So TCP-ELFN will differentiate the path break information from the congestion information. It is less dependent on the routing protocol and requires only link failure notification about the path break. When you see TCP-F, we are using we are more dependent on the routing protocol in order to calculate the route, in order to find the path breaks, in order to re-establish the route. They are more dependent on the routing protocol and intermediate nodes also. That is not a problem here. And what are the disadvantages? Let us see now. Disadvantages. When the network is temporarily partitioned, means for temporary reasons due to mobility of the nodes, the network is partitioned. If the network is partitioned, the path failure may last longer. And this can lead to origination of periodic probe packets consuming bandwidth power. For example, path failure occurs at the time of temporary partition. Then this path failure will be permanent, and it will lead to more generation of periodic probe packets, which will consume the bandwidth and the power of the node also. The congestion window used after a new route is obtained may not reflect the achievable transmission rate acceptable to the network and the TCP receiver. As I have already told you, this is the same disadvantage with TCP-F also. If the link between the sender and destination has broken, the transmission rate of the sender will be decreased, either decreased or increased, which will not be incompatible with the network transmission rate and also with the TCP receiver transmission rate. Thank you so much. If you find my video worth watching, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.